It's happening. The moon has never been this powerful, and tonight, you'll witness the moment your life changes. Tonight, the biggest and brightest supermoon of 2025 rises above us, and no one is ready for what it's bringing. Every person on Earth is under its influence right now, whether they know it or not. The sensitive ones are already feeling it, even though it hasn't peaked yet. But for those who are sensitive to spiritual shifts, the ones who pick up on energy without trying, tonight won't just feel like a full moon. If you're one of those people, be prepared, because tonight could just be the most important night of your life. A supermoon happens when the moon moves closest to Earth, and tonight it's almost pressing against our atmosphere. That closeness makes it look larger, brighter, almost alive. But the real impact isn't what you see, it's what it does to you. When the moon draws near, it doesn't just move the oceans, it moves you. The world doesn't know it yet, but this moon is opening something. And once it does, there's no turning back. This supermoon is a manifestation accelerator, but only for what's ready, not for what's forced, begged for, or chased. Only for what's been quietly building behind the scenes, waiting for the right moment to break through. The truth is, some of you have already done the work. You've been patient, staying consistent even when it felt pointless. You've been preparing without realizing it, and this moon, it's the trigger event. When the moon gets this close, reality tightens. It compresses timelines, bringing things forward faster than they were meant to arrive. The job offer, the message you've been waiting for, the unexpected payment or apology that changes everything. Don't overthink how, it's the when that matters, and that when is now. Manifestation doesn't happen when you want it. It happens when you've become the version of yourself that can handle it. This week, something may fall into your hands effortlessly and it will feel strange, not because it's sudden, but because deep down, you always knew it was coming. That's how aligned timing feels. Fast, but not surprising. Watch for the signs. They won't whisper this time, they'll shout. There are moments in life where cycles just collapse. Not because you fought them, but because you finally outgrew them. This supermoon carries that kind of power. It doesn't heal by comforting you. It heals by revealing how small your old patterns have become. The fears, the toxic habits, the self-sabotage loops. They suddenly look childish, like trying to wear clothes that no longer fit. Some of you are going to wake up and realize you don't even relate to the person who kept repeating those patterns. That's how change really happens. Not in fire and struggle, but in quiet recognition that this doesn't make sense anymore. The supermoon doesn't destroy your old self. It simply makes your evolution impossible to ignore. After tonight, something will click, and you won't need to try to be different. You'll just be done. The cycle ends when you stop resonating with it, and under this light, what's toxic can't hide. You'll see it clearly for what it is, and that clarity alone will be enough to set you free. You might wake up in the coming days feeling strangely unfamiliar to yourself, but in the best way. Little things that used to trigger you suddenly won't. Situations that once made you anxious will feel neutral. Conversations that would have drained you will barely register. This isn't numbness. It's your system stabilizing at a new frequency. This supermoon can mark the death of a previous mindset and the first day of a totally different internal rhythm. The reason it feels off is because you're experiencing yourself without the old reactions attached. That jittery part of you, the one that was always bracing for impact, is dissolving. The urgency to defend, explain, or prove yourself begins to vanish. And it's unsettling because your brain doesn't yet recognize this new calm as normal, but it is. This is how growth feels when it's real. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming real. This supermoon doesn't install a new version of you like an app. It reveals the one that's been quietly forming beneath your habits, beliefs, and survival mechanisms. That's why, in the next few days, you may find yourself thinking, I wouldn't usually handle it like that. That's the signal. The change is already in motion. This isn't a phase. It's the first breath of a self you've been growing into for years, finally stepping forward without hesitation. Under this supermoon, something happens to the way your inner compass works. You might find yourself getting random gut hits, knowing a text is about to come through before your phone buzzes, feeling like someone isn't being honest without any evidence, or sensing that a decision you are about to make would backfire. It can feel like paranoia at first because the volume of your inner voice is suddenly louder than usual. But this isn't fear, it's clarity. You're not paranoid. This moon is pulling your intuition out of the shadows and turning the volume all the way up. The moon, this close to Earth, acts like a magnifier for subtle senses. Instincts you normally brush off as weird feelings now arrive as full-body alerts you can't ignore. You'll just know who to trust. You'll know which situations to walk away from. You'll know which opportunity is genuine and which one is a trap. This isn't mystical fluff. It's your nervous system syncing with a stronger gravitational field and translating it into awareness. This is the kind of night where hidden truths spill out, where people reveal themselves without realizing, where you realize what was always obvious but hidden in plain sight. Trust it. Follow it. The clarity you feel right now isn't temporary. It's the beginning of a permanent upgrade to your perception, the kind that makes old mistakes impossible to repeat. You've been seeing repeating numbers again, haven't you? At first it was cool. Now it's constant. You've had strange dreams that feel too vivid to forget. You've turned on a song and a lyric hit like it was written just for you. Maybe you've even caught yourself thinking of someone only for their name to pop up minutes later. And yet, you keep brushing it off, convincing yourself it's all just coincidence. But deep down, you know it's not. This supermoon is amplifying synchronicity to the point of absurdity. The universe isn't whispering anymore, it's shouting. The patterns you're noticing aren't random, they're coded reminders that you've been asking for clarity and it's finally arriving. The thing is, signs don't always come with comfort. Sometimes they come with confrontation. You'll start noticing connections between your emotions and what happens around you. You'll realize how often the world mirrors your inner state, and the more you notice it, the harder it becomes to deny. You're not imagining it. You're remembering how connected you really are. This moon makes it impossible to stay asleep to the signals. If you've been ignoring your intuition, the external world will start speaking louder. Random people saying exactly what you needed to hear. Objects falling at the perfect moment. Delays that end up saving you from something you didn't see coming. It's not spooky, it's precise. The veil between thought and reality thins, and manifestation moves faster through synchronicity. This is your confirmation that what you've been asking for isn't lost. It's just been waiting for you to finally acknowledge the signs pointing straight toward it. This supermoon doesn't come to comfort, it comes to expose, and this time, it's personal. You may suddenly feel sick of your own excuses, disgusted by your own patterns, not in a self-hating way, but in a "how did I ever tolerate this?" kind of way. That's not negativity, that's radical honesty breaking through. The moon, this bright, doesn't just light up the sky, it lights up your inner contradictions. It reveals where you've been lying to yourself just to survive. If you feel disgusted with something in your life right now, that's the truth breaking through. Under this energy, false alignments can't hold. Relationships built on convenience feel hollow. Goals that were based on ego suddenly look meaningless. You'll feel your own body rejecting anything fake, even thoughts that once felt safe. That's because this isn't a night for pretending. It's a night for clarity so sharp it cuts through illusion. Some people will try to fight it, blaming the world, blaming the energy, blaming everything but their reflection. But the ones who surrender to this honesty will feel lighter, because this kind of truth isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to free you. You might cry, shake, or feel uncomfortable facing what you've avoided, but the moment you admit it, everything changes. This moon demands emotional integrity. No filters, no justifications, no spiritual bypassing, just raw, unfiltered truth about what you want, who you are, and what you can't tolerate anymore. The clarity hurts at first, but it also heals in ways you didn't think were possible. Because when you stop lying to yourself, life stops lying to you too. When an energy this enormous moves through the sky, the smartest thing you can do isn't to control it. It's to cooperate with it. The moon doesn't need you to perform rituals or chant under its glow. It just needs you to be aware enough to align. This supermoon isn't passive background energy, it's an atmosphere-wide shift. Every breath, every thought, every reaction is happening inside that influence. The moment you stop fighting the chaos and start syncing with it, you'll notice life beginning to flow differently, not softer, but smoother. Start by grounding. Not in the cliché sense, but literally, feel your body again. Sit somewhere still. Breathe until your thoughts stop rushing to predict what comes next. The moon pulls tides, and that same pull is working through your bloodstream. When you feel overwhelmed, that's your energy trying to catch up with Earth's magnetic rhythm. Go outside if you can. Touch the ground. Let the stillness balance the intensity. You'll notice your body stop buzzing when your mind stops running. Then, write. Get everything that's spinning inside you out of your head and onto paper. No filters, no structure, just truth. Journaling under a supermoon isn't about self-help, it's about self-release. Writing your truth during a supermoon is like handing your confusion back to the universe and saying, "You carry this now." Once it's written, you'll feel the pressure drop instantly. The supermoon works like a pressure cooker. Writing is how you lift the lid. If you meditate, don't force stillness. Just observe. Notice how the air feels heavier, almost electric. Breathe with it, not against it. Let your lungs move in rhythm with the moon's rise. You're literally syncing your internal clock with the planetary heartbeat. It's not just relaxation, it's recalibration. The more you allow yourself to feel the frequency, the less resistance you carry, and the faster your own energy begins to organize itself. This is also the perfect time to set intentions, but not in the usual wish list way. The supermoon doesn't respond to desperation or fantasy, it responds to alignment. Don't write what you want, write what you're ready for. There's a huge difference. If your energy matches what you're asking for, it manifests effortlessly. If it doesn't, it fades away because it's not time yet. You'll probably feel an internal push to make decisions, to clean something, change something, or walk away from something. Don't ignore it. That's the moon aligning your physical environment with your new internal frequency. Rearranging your space or finishing unfinished tasks isn't busy work, it's energetic maintenance. You're preparing your surroundings to hold the new version of you that's emerging under this light. So tonight, instead of trying to use the moon, let it use you. Let it pull the truth out of you, balance your energy, and remind you how much power you hold when you stop forcing and start aligning. Because when you move in rhythm with the sky, everything below it, including you, finally starts to make sense. Every supermoon comes with intensity, but this one is rewriting the body's rhythm completely. Tonight, sleep won't behave like it usually does. You'll either collapse into bed, like gravity doubled, and wake up feeling as if you've been rebooted by something ancient, or you won't sleep a single second, tossing between bursts of adrenaline and waves of deep reflection. There's no middle ground. The moon decides which side you're on. The science behind it is simple, but the experience isn't. The supermoon's proximity amplifies electromagnetic activity on Earth, and that includes you. Your brain is electric. Your body runs on subtle currents. When the moon draws this close, it tweaks those frequencies, like someone gently pulling on invisible wires. That's why some people shut down instantly, their systems overwhelmed into restoration mode, while others can't stop buzzing, overstimulated by the same energy that's meant to heal them. If the moon can move oceans, what makes you think it won't move the water inside of you? For those who can't keep their eyes open, sleep won't feel like ordinary rest. It'll feel heavy, dream-soaked, and strange. As if the moment you close your eyes, your spirit slips into a different timeline. Expect vivid, cinematic dreams, places that feel familiar but impossible, conversations that seem to finish before they start, flashes of faces you haven't met yet, but somehow recognize. When you wake, don't dismiss them, write them down. These aren't random visuals. They're fragments of what your subconscious finally has room to process when the body is completely surrendered to lunar pressure. But if you're one of the restless ones, wide awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling while the world feels wired, understand this. You're not broken, you're online. The same current that powers the tides is running through your nervous system. Your thoughts may be racing, your chest may feel charged, you might sense ideas, memories, or realizations colliding in rapid sequence. This isn't anxiety. It's information overload from an energy field that refuses to let you sleep through your own transformation. Insomnia under a supermoon isn't punishment. It's participation. You're being pulled into awareness because your soul wants to witness what's happening. These late-night hours aren't wasted. They're sacred. It's in these sleepless pockets of time that creative ideas appear, long-lost emotions finally release, and clarity hits like lightning. If this happens, don't resist it. Sit up, write, walk. Look at the moon and let it know you're awake with it. The sleepless are the observers, the ones meant to anchor the charge. Meanwhile, those who sleep through it are doing a different kind of work. Deep, cellular repair. Their bodies are integrating downloads of light, not metaphorically, literally photons of lunar reflection entering the retina and influencing circadian chemistry. Their dreams are transmutation disguised as fantasy. They'll wake up feeling different, not knowing why, lighter, calmer, or strangely detached from things that mattered too much yesterday. So if you find yourself between those two extremes tonight, half asleep, half awake, floating between dreams and awareness, that's where the real magic happens. That's the borderland where your body and consciousness meet halfway, negotiating a new balance under this pressure. No matter which side you land on, rest or restlessness, both are the same message from the moon. You are being recalibrated. Tonight, the sky decides how you heal. Some will dream it, some will live it, but everyone will wake up different. This supermoon is the checkpoint before the acceleration. It's that eerie stillness before the wave hits, and the moment it passes, everything that's been stuck begins to move. The energy of pause, of waiting, of preparation, all dissolves. And suddenly, things start happening faster than you can process. The people who've been waiting for a sign to move will find themselves pushed. The ones clinging to comfort zones will realize the comfort has expired. Life starts rearranging itself at high speed. You've been paused for a reason, but after this, doors swing open. Fast. For months, it's felt like something has been trying to unfold, but couldn't quite break through. That's because you are still gathering the pieces, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This moon finalizes that cycle. It acts like the green light after a long red. It doesn't ask for permission. It gives direction. Jobs, breakups, moves, launches, all the big turning points that have been circling your orbit suddenly fall into place like dominoes. The energy that once resisted you now pushes behind you. You might notice the change instantly. Emails you've been waiting for appear. People you haven't heard from in months suddenly reach out. Plans that were stuck in limbo find momentum overnight. It's not coincidence, it's alignment. But you have to be ready to pivot because the speed at which this happens will catch you off guard if you're too focused on what's already ending. This moon isn't about comfort, it's about movement. It's a cosmic shove toward what's next. The universe doesn't want your hesitation. It wants your flexibility. Be ready to let go of what was supposed to work but didn't, because what's replacing it is moving faster, cleaner, and stronger than what you've been holding on to. The universe doesn't wait for your readiness, it responds to your willingness. That's what this supermoon unlocks. The next chapter in Fast Forward. If you've been patient, this is your release. If you've been resisting, this is your wake-up call. There's no later after this moon. Things that were meant for you are already in motion, and they're arriving on their own timing, not yours. So when life starts shifting quickly in the days ahead, don't panic. Don't overthink it, just pivot. Because this isn't chaos, it's your momentum finally catching up. This supermoon has a way of bending time, not literally, but perceptually. Under its light, the subconscious starts leaking into the conscious, and for a moment, sometimes just a split second, you'll see something you weren't expecting. A random image, a flash of a scenario that feels so vivid it almost startles you. It might be you in a different home, a conversation with someone you haven't met yet, a career moment that hasn't happened. You'll brush it off as imagination, but it won't feel like imagination. It'll feel like memory, but from a future you haven't lived. You may see it in your mind's eye, a random image of the life you could be living. That's the supermoon's vision effect. It's not fantasy, it's a preview. The moon, this close, acts like a signal booster between your present self and your potential self. It sends a ping across the timeline, and for just a heartbeat, you're aligned with the version of you that already made it there. But then, almost instantly, the voice of doubt creeps in. You'll hear yourself think, "That's too good to be true," or "That's just my imagination running wild." That's not truth, that's conditioning. The fact that you saw it at all means it's accessible. The universe doesn't waste time showing you realities, you could never reach. A glimpse, no matter how brief, is a breadcrumb on your path. That's why, under this supermoon, the most important thing you can do is not dismiss what you see. Write it down, speak it aloud, anchor it before it fades. Because these flashes aren't random. They're doors opening for a second just to let you peek through. It's normal to doubt it. Doubt is the reflex of an old identity trying to protect itself from change. But that doesn't make the vision any less real. This moon isn't showing you fantasy, it's showing you proof. Proof that another version of your life already exists in potential, waiting for you to match it. And even if it appears for just a moment before your mind shuts it down, that moment is your confirmation. It's possible, and it's closer than you think. A brief vision is a real one. Tonight, pay attention to those flashes. They're not daydreams. They're coordinates. They're glimpses of a life that's trying to find you. All you have to do is stop doubting long enough to believe what you saw, because the second you believe it, the path to it accelerates. For months, maybe even years, it's felt like you've been living inside a story you couldn't understand. The wrong doors kept opening. The right ones stayed shut. People came and left without warning. Opportunities slipped away the second you reached for them. It's been confusion disguised as life. But tonight, under this supermoon, the pattern begins to reveal itself. Suddenly, the random pieces start to fit. You can feel it. That quiet realization settling in your chest that none of it was wasted. The chaos, the silence, the delays, the almosts. Tonight's moon won't erase the past, but it'll finally show you why it had to be that way. You'll start to see the precision behind the pain. The people who left weren't punishment, they were clearing space. The waiting wasn't rejection, it was protection. The losses were not random acts of cruelty, they were calibration points, aligning you to the exact frequency you needed to hold for what's coming next. It's strange, but there's a peace that arrives when you finally stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start realizing it all happened for you. This supermoon doesn't offer closure in the traditional sense. It offers clarity, a kind that makes you breathe differently. You'll look back on the heartbreak, the dead ends, the false starts, and see that they were each small adjustments that brought you here to this exact vibration. It's like the universe saying, you had to lose what you thought you wanted to find what was truly yours. For the first time in a long time, your life starts to feel connected, as if all those isolated moments were fragments of one larger sentence that's finally finishing itself tonight. The full stop lands, and it makes sense. Even the tears, even the silence, even the times you thought it was over. Because it wasn't over. It was orchestrating this exact version of you. This isn't the end. This is the part where the story finally starts to make sense. So when you step outside tonight and look up at that glowing supermoon, let it remind you that nothing you've been through was meaningless. Every detour was a breadcrumb. Every heartbreak was an initiation. You weren't being broken, you were being built. And now, as the brightest moon of the year shines above you, you'll feel it. That quiet click in your soul that says, "Oh, now I understand." This is not the ending. It's the moment you finally realize you were never lost. You were just becoming aligned with the light that was always waiting for you. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.